This video is all about empowering the UI UX team interactively and visually. So I'm actually going to start with visually. It's kind of a pro tip. It's a mechanism called TagSpec. So here you can see a website that's using a custom HTML tag that I built. And if you look at this attribute, tag specs, the design team is actually able to inject HTML and classes into the output rendering of the Bookables tag. So the first thing they ask for is a div item container, and that's what they get, a div item container. So we have custom HTML tags. There's a built-in mechanism called TagSpec where the front-end team can decide how the tag actually renders. As the provider of the tag suite, you would of course provide some sane default values for this tag spec, but they are able to tweak and adjust it. Let's take a look at this particular example. It's a real live example. Well, that doesn't help. Here it is. So this is the default tag spec that would be rendered, but they've overridden it with their own tag definition. In this tutorial framework, there's a set of mixins that assist TagSpec in its functionality. And those mixins get attached to all the custom HTML tag definition files. So here we can see those functions being used to produce the desired HTML elements within our custom HTML tag. So that's on the visual side of things. On the interactive side of things, we have two mechanisms, commands and events. So if they're going to be pairing this with jQuery, some other event-driven library, they're going to need access to the StateTag application. They're going to need to be able to provide the StateTag application with instructions and find out what's going on within the StateTag application. So commands allow them to inject functions into the app. Let's take a look at a command. There we go, fired off a command. So I just typed it into the console, but obviously it can be attached to buttons or jQuery event listeners and handlers, whatever it is. So that, if I could direct your attention to the diagram, I just sent a command in this direction. Now, in order for information to move in the other direction from the StateTag app to the browser, we need to broadcast those as events. And then the browser can listen for those events. So in the demo application, I am throwing events to the browser and they are logging. So let's take a look. Just refresh. So the first thing that happened was two animation events, animation start, animation stop. This refers to the little blue line that shoots across the top of the page. Next, I can trigger some data events from state storage. So this is where we could begin our broadcast for the event. Let's take a look. We have the global state watcher. It's logging, but it's not broadcasting. Let's broadcast. This is our event. We'd probably want to give it more detail, but it's a basic implementation of how to broadcast from the StateTag application to the broader environment of the browser, jQuery, the DOM, however your build is going. It's all about the front-end person getting the information they need to interact with the user. And that just illustrated the movement of information in this other direction. The only other thing that I would want to point out about this mechanism is that they can put an event in their command. So they can actually have a little loop go for whatever callback or confirmation they would like to see when their commands are executed.